Alright, everybody, we are here with Mr. OJZach. We got some echo on OJZach. We got some echo on Zach's side here.
Oh shoot, sorry.
On Zach's side here.
Oh shoot, sorry. Oh shoot, sorry.
Stand by.
Excellent. Had it on in the background.
Stand by.
Excellent. Had it on in the background.
Stand by.
Excellent. Had it on in the background. Had it on in the background.
You good?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
There's still some echo there.
Yeah.
Well, there's still some echo there. Hopefully that won't, there's still some echo there. Hopefully that won't. Hell, it may be my fault. So anyways, I apologize for not doing a stream in a while. I've had some personal issues, so I've not been able to make this happen. And this is an AMA that I've really been looking forward to. I've been trying to get this cat on for a while, and he's so busy constantly with all his extracurricular activities that he doesn't have a lot of free time, which is a good thing, right? It's better than sitting around in front of a computer. Which is a good thing, right? But so for anybody out there who doesn't know, we have Mr. OJZach, or Zach, or OJ, or the Juice. You should now see his bright, smiling young face. You should now see his screen here. He is one of our youngest developers, clocking in, unless he's had a birthday recently at 14. So, ladies, hands off. 14. He's been with the Ultimate community for years, not years, months, and started with Course 1 doing the galaxy shooters, and he is now the bane of virtual trees over the internet. So we'll get into that, but I have wanted to get Zach on for quite a while. He's very active in the community and recently became an advisor. Congratulations. Ryan complained at me last time because I said too many times. So if I keep saying hang on. Yeah, I didn't have the chat up. So let me make sure that there's nothing on my side that's causing me. So everybody will stop whining. Stand by. Didn't have this issue last time. Zach, do you have external speakers going right now?
No. I just have it on my audio and earbuds.
Okay, it's probably me then. I apologize. Give me a minute. Probably should have tested this.
Yeah, maybe.
Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna kill this for just a minute. Let me fix this. Okay, I'm gonna kill this. We'll be right back. Let me fix this. Okay, I'm gonna kill this. We'll be right back. I can't tell we're back live. It just shows loading at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up, Tyler. So do we have an echo?
Apparently there's no echo.
Awesome. I'm going to blame Zach.
Okay.
Something he did. I don't know what it was. It was something he did. Certainly didn't have anything to do with, you know, my browser playing the audio. It's a little choppy now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're actually streaming or not, but it's a little choppy. So anyways, now that we've cleared up the technical issue. So Zach, if anybody missed, Tyler, stop staring at my lips. So if anybody missed the introduction, Zach has been with us for years and years. Long before there was ever a channel, there was Zach, and he did complete the course, and he entered the last game jam. I can't remember. Did you win that game? You didn't win that. Hanley won that game jam. Were you in top 3? I can't remember.
I don't think so. Well, I wasn't top 3, but
no. So he rocked the last game jam, and now he's here to share the most personal and intimate details of his life that are legally allowable, that, you know, that anybody wants to hear. So Zach, not to put you two on the spot, just you know, tell us a little about yourself. You're in a peach room. Why are you in a peach room? Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, this is actually my bedroom, and it's not peach, it's orange, because that's what I painted my bedroom at one point, and I kind of just left it. But, I guess I'm in high school. I started the course in, I think, January-ish, and still haven't finished it, actually. I only finished half of it. I kind of stopped after I started the FPS part.
So what do you do for fun? I mean, besides kill trees. Do you actually kill trees in real life, or do you just make video games about killing trees?
No. No. I don't kill trees in real life.
Is it some kind of like dark side of Zach? Is it like some kind of fetish or something? You like to kill trees and...
No, well, so the first game, I don't really remember how I thought that one up, but I just came up with that one. Then the second one, which is the lumber sim, was actually just a random generator where I put in a ton of different like games or whatever, and chose one and just built a game out of it.
So we're actually... Sorry, go
ahead. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So we're actually going to look at Lumber Sim. I have that loaded up in the background, and we're going to look at that. And personally, I'm a fan. I don't know if anybody pays attention to me in Discord when I'm not invisible, but I'm usually playing 7 Days to Die, and probably a good 90% of your I think I have that anymore, Tyler. Probably 90% of your time in 7 Days to Die is you know, beating up rocks and trees. So, you know, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the tree murder. So you and I have talked, you know, briefly in private, and you're a sailor?
Yes. I do sailing for my high school, and it's 3 days a week. So
how'd you get into sailing? You know, I grew up like a redneck, so like the most off the wall thing we had was chess club or the golf team. You know, and you've got sailing. So how did you get into sailing?
Well, I live in Annapolis, which is apparently like some sailing capital or something, but. My dad still does sail, But then I got into like summer camps, and then just when I got into actually 8th grade last year, they let me just join in go to practices and some regattas. But yeah, I've
So
just been
Annapolis.
sailing yeah,
Annapolis, is that somewhere in like Oregon?
Maryland.
They don't have a lot of sailing
Coast.
places in Oregon, I guess.
Yeah. No.
So what else? What besides sailing? What does Zach do with his free time?
Hockey during winter, but that's ended. And I kind of do some airsofting, but not lately.
You kind of do some airsoft. So what does kind of do some airsoft? What does that entail? My kid was into airsoft. My youngest, he was into airsoft for a while, and also an expensive hobby, just not for him. But what does kind of into airsoft mean?
I like doing it, but I never really do it lately because school and sailing and everything else I do.
So sailing is definitely more fun and useful than airsoft.
Yes, definitely my main thing.
Yeah. So do you have your own boat, or are you on a team, or?
No, I'm on a team. So our high school technically has a team, but it's not sponsored. And I sail on that team where you have to like pay, I don't know how much, and then you're on the team. And it's also 2 other schools that sail at the same place with the same practices as us.
You have to pay $1 million.
But
So you, like I said, you were one of the original members of the Discord. So you've been around for a while. So you started out in the course. You just said you didn't finish it. Shame on you. I haven't finished it either. And now you're on to doing procedurally generated tree killing. And your original game, which I thought was really good, was just you had lanes and you had to collect trees to build bridges to get over little gaps. I remember you asking some questions about that in chat, but for the most part, I was impressed. For the most part, you did all of that on your own with very little assistance from anybody else in the chat. So you moved on from that, which was also kind of it was an infinite runner. It wasn't. It was procedurally generated to an extent, but now you got an actual sandbox procedurally generated. I mean, it's still the same island, I assume, like the same island you're going to be on every time you start the game. So what are the? Let's back up. What you've got your sailing, you've got your hockey, you've got your math club, you've got whatever it is that you're into in school. And for anybody that's watching, if I'm looking this way, it's because Zach is on this monitor. So I'm looking at him, even though he can't tell that I'm looking at him unless I look up here. So you got the course for a reason. Is there any time in Zach's life because I haven't seen a lot of updates going into Tree Murder Redux. So is there any time in Zach's life for programming, or was it just a phase?
Well, it's not a phase. I'm still doing it, but I just haven't really. So, last week we just moved one house to a new house. So then I didn't have Wi-Fi at all, so I couldn't really do too much on my computer and stuff. Plus, I have sailing 3 days a week, which is pretty much I have weekends and Friday and Monday to work on stuff. And I just haven't really been talking too much because I've been mostly working on the transportation sim or whatever I've been working on, which is just so far been mostly level design.
That's right. You are working on the transportation sim game, which we decided was Grand Theft Auto without being able to walk and without the hookers because you're 14, right? So is Lumber Sim dead? Because I didn't know if there was a playable demo of the transportation sim out there.
Well, there's no playable demo yet, but what I'm thinking is after I get like somewhat into like the transportation sim or like getting early access part of it, going back to one of my older games and then updating it. So like adding more to say tree sim, or if I even did the I forget what I called it, but the really old one where I did the Infinite Runner.
So Battle Drake has come up with an interesting conspiracy theory that transportation sim takes place on the same island as Lumberjack sim, and that you're chopping down all of those trees to make room for the city. Is there any chance that those two games are going to be in the same universe?
I don't think so.
No. So we're not ever going to see like Marvel is doing with the Avengers or whatever. We're not ever going to see like a lumberjack running around in the transportation sim, right?
Yeah, probably not. Maybe though.
That's disappointing. I mean, there's a lot of potential there. I mean, have you ever played The Wolf Among Us from Telltale?
No.
See, you should check it out. Check it out. There's a lot of potential for a perfectly normal, sane individual running around in a heavily populated city carrying an axe. I mean, it's the possibilities for a deep backstory there are just endless, right?
Yeah.
So you're working on the transportation sim. What prompted you to go from off the grid to completely the entire opposite genre? Like, what was that? Did you just get bored with living out in the woods, or?
I really don't know. I kind of just randomly came up, I think, one day, and I was like, wow, that'd be kind of a fun idea to do, like maybe driving around and whatever, in a third-person vehicle, and you can choose different vehicles, maybe have like different quests. Like if you're a bus, you could go to bus stops and pick up people to like take them to different bus stops, or if you're a school bus, you go pick up kids and take them to a school or different things.
So like everyday life, basically.
Yeah, pretty much, but you're only in a car, or you could get in like, I'm thinking of adding boats, and if I can get the programming for a plane, then maybe.
Well, I think the Unity standard assets comes with a demo plane, right?
Yeah, I did check that out, but it was kind of buggy with that I was using.
That makes sense.
I'll have to play around with that a bit.
So, where's your beard?
I don't have one.
You're gonna have to work on that before you do any other game ideas. You're gonna have to work on that. I want to get to next time we have you on, and then we'll have you on again at some point. I'm gonna need you to be rocking at least like a Fu Manchu or something. You know, I don't know. Figure it out. Come up with something cool. So to game development. You said it's definitely not a phase. Well, let me ask you this. Have you, and yes, I still say a lot, Ryan. Have you played Sea of Thieves?
Sea of Thieves? No.
The new pirate game from Rare that everybody's all raving about?
No.
I know he's not here, Tyler, but he's going to watch later and he's going to bust my balls about saying so much. So just getting that out of the way that Ryan can shut up about how often I say So you haven't played Sea of Thieves, which is,
No.
I don't know of any other sailing sims. Like there's no Pirate Ship Simulator 1998 to go back and reference.
Yeah.
But if you like sailing, you know, you should check it out. It's actually pretty effing stupid. I'll say that for the record for anybody out there who happens to be playing Sea of Thieves, and I think Tyler is one of them. It's freaking stupid. There besides players, there's one enemy in the game, and you basically spend all of your time either going to different islands, which it takes an hour and a half to get to any of these islands, by the way. Go to an island and either kill a half a dozen skeletons or collect a chicken and take it to a different port. Like, that's the entire game. And every once in a while, somebody will gank you and then grief you while you're trying to load up treasure onto your ship, and you got to scuttle your ship. It's just terrible. So play the game and then do it better. How about that? It's a game that should have been released probably 2 years from now. Play Sea of Thieves. If you have an Xbox, do you have an Xbox Live Pass?
I think I do.
If you do, it's free. So if you have an Xbox Live Pass, you can play it for free. And play it. Just to see how... And it may be better with friends and whatever, but it's terrible. It's terrible. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen. So, way off topic, way off on a tangent. Yeah, play it for research, exactly. So this is how you do not want to make a sailing game. So is there any, speaking of which, is there any plan? I know you said you thought about including it in your transport sim or your, what'd you call that? A commuter?
Transport sim.
Is it transport sim? Is that what we're going to go with?
Yeah, that's all I've come up with. I can't come up with any good name. Got lumberjack sim, transport sim.
Well, everything doesn't have to be a sim, brother. I mean, it can be just...
Yeah, but it's kind of just how I thought of it as a name.
Well, if you put the lumberjack in it, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's not going to be a sim. It's going to be everybody run from the axe-wielding crazy guy. I'm pretty sure they did that in Hatred. Hatred also was a terrible game. Don't play that. So, when you're working on your transport sim, how much planning is going into this game versus your original game jam entry? How much are you like jotting it down in graph paper in school? Like, are you just, hey, let's do this, bang 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 on the keyboard and see what comes out?
I do absolutely no. Okay, I need this, and then some I forget because I don't have the best memory. But then some when I get home, I start adding them, and then if I don't finish, then I will at least remember what I was doing last time because it's half done.
I don't have the best memory either.
I don't have any planning.
It's not my fault though. Totally not my fault. So what's after from a development standpoint? Does Zach know what's after Transport Sim? Does Zach know what he wants to work on post Transport Sim?
No, not really. I will probably go back and update Lumberjack Sim.
The original Lumberjack Sim, or was the first one, was that technically a lumberjack sim? I mean, you were cutting down trees.
No. I don't really know what it was like. Maybe
it was a unique take. It was a unique take on the endless runner genre. I mean, it was a good game, especially for for a beginner. How do you feel about being, the youngest active member in Discord? Is it encouraging for you, or is it discouraging for you?
I don't think it's discouraging. I don't think it's super encouraging. It's a bit encouraging because, I can compare myself to someone who's older than me and should know more than me, but I'm kind of doing the same as them.
Yeah, but young kids are like sponges. You know, the rest of us, like our brain is turned to coral. It doesn't absorb as much anymore, right?
Yeah.
Especially me. So lumberjack sim. Because she didn't go to the bathroom while I were out. Hey, can you close that? Sorry, apologize. What was I talking about again? What was I saying about memory?
I don't know.
Oh, oldest or youngest cat in the Discord. So not intimidated by it, not discouraged by it. You do jump in and lend a hand, which is why you're an advisor now. Which, you know, for anybody who happens to be watching currently or maybe watching in the future, we do pay attention if we notice that, like young OJZach here, if you're you know, doing your best to help out, you know, that stuff doesn't go, you know, it doesn't go unnoticed. So definitely keep an eye on the whatever channel you happen to be a subject matter expert in, be it, you know, 2D art, 3D art, programming, whatever, and jump in and lend a hand, so that you know, anybody who has, you know, has issues does not get discouraged, like the unshakable OJZach here, who is unfazed by anything that us old geezers come up with, right? So I had more things that I wanted to talk to you about, but I don't remember what they were. So the community. So I tried to, I think, not necessarily toot our horn. Has being involved in this community and being a member of this community, has it helped you at all on your development roadmap, your development, you know, processes and path, so to speak?
I think it has helped me, because like I probably wouldn't have actually learned everything, because like at some points I got stuck and like you guys helped me. Like you guys couldn't help me. I don't really know if I would have gotten all the way through the course or whatever. And I never really learned raycasting until you guys suggested using it, and probably wouldn't have started using it till way later.
So are you a raycasting expert?
No, not at all.
Are we better than Watermelon?
Yeah.
How about Cantaloupe? Are we better than Cantaloupe?
I don't know.
You don't know we're better than Cantaloupe? Cantaloupe's pretty good. I'll forgive you if you say no, we're not better than Cantaloupe. It's not as messy as Watermelon, so don't feel that. It's cool. So we're gonna take a look at your game. Now, I don't know, it looked okay earlier when I opened it up, but I don't know if it's actually showing up on the YouTube stream. So, are you looking at the YouTube stream, Mr.
Yeah.
Zach? Can you see your game? You can't see your game because I forgot to change scenes. So, how about now?
I'll wait for the... Yes, I can.
And you can see your handsome face in one corner and my ugly mug in the other one, right?
Uh-huh.
I haven't done this bit. I meant to do this bit with Hanley, and we got sidetracked. So the way this is set up, while I'm looking at this, I can't see any of the chat. So talk all the smack that you want to about me, while I can't see it like a bunch of cowards. But I do want to look at this game, because this game it does have some things that I think are interesting. So from this is obviously using the terrain tool. So from a landscaping perspective, how difficult was it for you to put this island together using the terrain tool?
Actually, I think I did this in like half hour to an hour, but it was pretty easy. I kind of just added the mountain. Like I first built it up, and then I added the mountain, removed that kind of hill where on the backside it's all just rock, and added a few little hills and stuff on each side of the like on the mainland, like where it's spinning around now, where you can see the little hill there, and some places where it kind of slopes off a bit. But
so
it wasn't too hard.
Do you hate the terrain tool, or do you think?
I don't really hate it. It's not that bad. I think it did pretty good for what I was like needed done on it. I wasn't like looking for something really good for it out of it. I just needed something to get like the basic idea of the island. So for what I was using it for, it turned out pretty good, I think.
And do these trees now we know the island is not procedurally generated, but are these trees like randomly placed, or are they the same trees every time?
At the start, they start as the same trees every time. But when you break the tree, it will spawn a new tree within, I think, 30 seconds to 2 minutes of when you break it, a random tree. Of the same species, though, because there's different types of the same tree, from like the darker green ones or the lighter green ones. It will spawn a random tree of those groups.
I see you have a pirate ship over there. Can you actually go to that pirate ship? I've never tried.
Yes, you can. There's actually a trader down there where I added you can sell wood, and I think there's also stone you can sell.
Sweet. So this mountain hill looks pretty empty. Are you gonna put like a boss tree up there or something, like the weeping willow or something like that?
Tree. I don't remember if this. So I remember adding rocks up there. It might not be on this map. If you hit play, it might be in there, or I just never updated the actual game drill page.
Can I drown if I walk into that pond? Is there a breathing mechanic?
Nope.
No, I can't drown. Can I even go under the water? Can I swim?
Yes, you can go under the water. There's no swimming. It's just like.
Can I sail in that pond?
Nope.
No sailing. So the man that loves sailing doesn't have a sailing mechanic in his game. So I have played this game a couple times. I don't mind the just walking around beating on trees. To me, this is just another day in 7 Days to Die. Like there's the boulders sticking out of the ground, grass, which I hate, and then trees that I get to murder. So for me, this is just another day in 7 Days to Die. So. Yeah. This game, in its current or future planned state. So are you happy with the way that this game has turned out? Is it something that you're looking forward to coming back to?
I think it turned out well. There's also one mechanic I added a crafting system, but it has I only added one item that you can craft. Mm-hmm. It's like a grinder thing, which I'm planning on making into. You can grind rocks, and you can have it.
I think I lost him. I may have lost everybody. Let's check the YouTube. So are we still on? Nope, there's Zach. He's back.
Yeah.
Hey there, Ron. So I want to flip back over to the game here. So grinder.
Yeah.
Tell us about the grinder.
So if you go back to the house, I think, or you could, either way, if you could either go behind you or, but both ways, there's something you could look at. Or you could chop down trees. Or rocks. I have that you can actually break rocks And have you tried scrolling?
I'm scrolling now.
It doesn't do anything?
Yeah, nothing's
happening.
Okay.
Then I didn't have, yeah, this might be a not, but, you might be able to break rocks or you might not.
Oh.
You probably can't. Or,
looks like I can.
Yeah, never mind, you can. So, if you go back to the house, it should be updated enough so that you can do the crafting thing, I think. You can also go to the door if you want. But the table, if you like hover over it, you can press I. It's just a no match.
Yeah, I got nothing. Maybe I don't have a recent build. And you're locked up again. But I will say, while we're waiting for the unlock, that there used to be a way that I could store wood here, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, if you cut down trees, if you cut down, I think 2 or 3 trees, it'll start piling up.
So it just stores it automatically.
Yeah, it'll automatically put it there whenever you cut down a certain amount of trees, or how much lumber you get, which can come from a certain amount. Like different trees give different lumber amounts.
Oh, there's we got some lumber over here. So, Lumberjack Sim, this is actually not a bad game. Not to imply that I ever thought that it was a bad game or that it wasn't a good game. I don't have the inventory options, so you know it's probably an outdated build, and there's obviously no collider there.
Yeah.
Some little tree floating, probably because of the grass, but it's not a bad game. It's not a bad game, and it's definitely worth revisiting and getting some content in. I like to play it just because I like to kill trees. I would like to see maybe a better axe swing animation, but outside of that, I think it's a good game, and I think everybody should be playing it. I think we should be talking about this because it's a hell of a lot better game than Sea of Thieves. I'm just saying that you did a better job with this game than Rare's entire development team did with Sea of Thieves. That's it. I'm just going to throw that out there. So, I haven't seen you around a lot. You've been sailing 3 days a week. So you pop in every once in a while. Usually to tell me that I'm wrong about something. But definitely I can even say there's been a decrease in your participation because you've never been one of those just talking in channel for for hours on end like myself or like Ryan, who's we're racing for number 1 spot, even though he's probably gonna get me because there's more conversation activity. He's already got me, but he's gonna keep it because there's more conversation at night. But I have wanted to definitely have wanted to get you involved in the AMA. I know you're super shy from what I hear and from what I've been told by you yourself. So I need you to get over that and be be more active in the channel when you're not sailing and at the country club or whatever it is you rich kids do. But really, honestly, I mean, I appreciate the fact that you're still hanging around. You're 14. Obviously, you're gonna have a social life, whatever that is. I think I've read about it in the dictionary once because I'm the type of nerd that just reads a dictionary. But anybody have any questions for Zach? Because I'm out of steam. I can't check Discord, by the way, so So Unity and C++, is this your first stab at game design, or did you start with like Pascal and Fortran, and you don't know what either of those things are, do you?
I don't know, but Unity is my first C# stuff in like pretty much any coding with game stuff. But I did try this other Udemy course, but it didn't it wasn't as good, and so then I was actually watching Bracky's videos, and he suggested this one, so I was like, why not? Because it's only like $10 since Udemy always has like a sale every week. Like it's either like $10, $9, $11.
Yeah, just keep rubbing it in John's face that he ain't making no money. So, what and you bought it, and you've never looked back. I mean, your game dev universe all the way. You haven't looked into Mammoth or DevSlopes or anything like that. You haven't. Not saying that they're bad. Again, we probably have this conversation every single AMA, but like you haven't seen a reason to go. This. I'm not getting what I want from this course, so I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I haven't checked them out. I've pretty much been this course and then one.
Well, it's super cool. It's super cool that that you started with Brackies and you ended up here. So I mean that's awesome. And it's awesome that you haven't found the need really to go anywhere else. I don't know what your level of interest is, or whether you need to go and do something somewhere else. But anybody else? Anybody have any? Asking where we're at with his friends becoming. So, your friends. How many friends do you have? Can you count them on one hand? Can you count them on two hands?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Probably,
you can count them on.
Like close friends, it's probably like 3.
Do you have to take off your shoes to count your friends?
No.
You're not that popular.
No.
I'm not either. I can count how many friends I have with no hands. Tier. So all your friends, do you talk to them about programming, or do you just talk to them about sailing?
Not really.
You don't really talk to them about programming?
Not really much, because none of them are really into it, I'd say. The only one I would be one of my friends, because we do PoE, which is basically like an advanced TED, and we do X robotics in it for we did it for a quarter, and it was in C++, but that's about it.
So you're not trying to bring your friends to the flock for the great pilgrimage to the stars or anything?
No.
I want you to step that up, man. We got to come up with some recruiting bonuses or something that like you get the fast track to the comet if you bring in more people. I'm not sure. Anybody else have any questions for Mr. Zach? Again, I cannot check Discord.
I should probably look in there if that's something.
So Nicholas wants to know. Well, Nicholas is curious as to whether any of your personal life experiences have influenced your game design choices. Like, did you get mugged by a tree? Like or did your parents get mugged by a tree when you were young, and your mom got shot, and then the tree got off scot-free, and like now you're working to build up your crime-fighting underworld empire?
I don't think any of it really influenced. No, there.
So you completely dropped during that entire explanation. So we're going to assume that the back computer detected something that the world was not ready to hear and cut you out, because I don't want you to have to go through that whole explanation again. How about playtesting? Do you have your friends and your family do your playtesting, or do you do it all yourself, like the Fox Guard and the Hen House?
Wait, what? My earbuds actually. I didn't hear any of that.
It's a redneck expression. So, do you write your games? Like, are you the only one involved in the process from conception to finished product? Like, or do you have friends and family that go in and beta test and provide feedback and encourage you to, to sit on your butt at a keyboard, or are they all like, go away, nerd, go sail a boat?
Well, I am pretty much the only. Mostly it's just me.
Did anybody else notice that the only thing we heard is I'm the only one that, and mostly it's just me? Like, nothing in between that. Like, it cut out everything except for those two phrases. So there's obviously something going on here that the world is not ready for Zach. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. So we got about 10 minutes, and I'm not gonna drag it out by saying as many times as I can in the next 10 minutes. So, anybody have any other questions? Yes or no questions for Master Zach? It's 42, Nicholas. 42. All right, well, no, Zach doesn't know why it's 42. Zach, do you know why the answer to all questions is 42?
No.
Or Batman. The answer to all questions is also Batman. FYI, if anybody ever asks. Anyways, all right, well, if nobody else has any questions, do you have any parting words of wisdom, Master Zach, that you would like to share with the rest of the world?
Not really.
Not really, of course not. All right. Well, in that case, well, there's one that we did not cover that I should have. Before you launch into an explanation, you just got cut out, so I'm going to wait till you come back before I ask this question. And he's back. Are you back? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So, is there any part of you that wants to be in game development in some capacity in the future, or do you want to be a pirate?
I've definitely thought about it. I have actually.
It's doing it again.
Development stuff. Huh?
It's doing it again. It's cutting you out right as you're getting in the explanation part. So,
yes,
so,
I have thought about it.
So you have thought about it. So it's on the radar.
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. So keep up the good work. It doesn't pay as well as being a pirate, but it's much less risky.
Definitely.
Any other questions? Yes or no? Yes or no questions, preferably. No. Well, I'm going to say no because, or that everybody types really slow, and because of the delay, I'm probably not gonna get to them in time. So, Master Zach, I appreciate your time. I hope that we can do this again in the future. And for anybody who still has questions, Zach is in Discord semi-regularly. So if you have any questions for him, please feel free to reach out to him. I'm sure he wouldn't mind answering anything that's not too personal. But Zach, again, I appreciate your time. And thanks to anybody who happened to show up or happens to watch this feed in the future. Again, I apologize for it being so long between the first community AMA and this one. I did have some technical issues and some personal issues, so this has been delayed, but it is definitely a long time coming. But hopefully you can do it again, and it's definitely been a blast talking to you. And maybe next time we'll have some more functionality in our tree murder Redux that we can we can talk about. Cool.
Mhm.
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 All right. Well, I appreciate your time, and we will see everybody back in channel. Bye.
Bye.